Coming up on today's Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, we meet a gorgeous doggy ambassador. We receive some important hiking tips and learn about a group every dog owner should know about. Welcome to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show and Happy New Year, everybody. We are beginning our new year right here at one of our favorite spots, the Connecticut Beardsley Zoo, where they are welcoming 3 new residents and 1 old friend.
We have a brand new otter. Her name is Tahu. She's a young girl. She was born in 2019, so she's coming up around her 2nd birthday. She's still 1 right now, and she is a very precocious little thing. She loves to explore, very engaging. When she sees visitors, she sometimes stands right up on her hind legs and comes over to you, fascinated in everything in her habitat. They even had a call the other day of her trying to climb one of the trees in her habitat.
Oh, can't get out?
Yeah, she can't get out, but she was still climbing up the tree, and so we listen to the radio quite a lot for chatter because she's just one of those little instigators, right? She's a little troublemaker. She's a hyper young little kid, right? So of course she's going to get into trouble. That's the name of the game.
Oh, she is so adorable. Those big eyes and that cute little face. But you tell me that otters aren't really the sweetest when it comes down
adorable.
to it.
But she does have a jaw strength that is comparable to that of a German Shepherd. So you're talking about an animal that can bite down maybe about a 25, 30-pound animal, but you can have a bite force of an animal that's 90+ pounds.
Wow.
So a lot of power in a very small frame.
That's amazing. Tell me about otters, because we don't really see them that much, though they are here in Connecticut.
They absolutely are, yeah. North American river otters do live here in Connecticut. We've thought that we might have even seen some out in the river, the Paquonic River, just outside of the zoo. In terms of otters, you mentioned her eyes. She's got beautiful, stunning eyes, and they also have nictitating membranes. That's an important SAT word, but what that is basically built-in swim goggles. So when they dive underwater, you know, if you've got sticks and mud and debris and sand in that water and that gets in your eyes, that can really hamper you when you're hunting or when you're trying to escape from danger. So they have built-in membranes that cover their eyes. Really amazing animals. Their fur is great at trapping air. You can often see, if you see her dive down, just these stream of bubbles that come out, and that traps so much warmth in her fur. It's a pretty cool day, but she can be swimming in this water and be just as warm as we could be in a down coat and everything.
Wow, I know we did a story recently on beavers, and we got to see some right here.
Yeah.
Really, it was, you know, the northern part of Connecticut, but we understand that a lot of people maybe confuse beavers and otters.
Yes,
but they're not the same.
No, they're not. They definitely have a couple of things that look similar, but some differences. Sort of the shape of their body too. Beavers are a bit chunkier, and otters are a bit more streamlined. But one of the big differences too is their tails. Beavers will have a very different tail. It's a bit of like a leathery texture, versus when you look at an otter, it's all fur all the way down, really streamlined and tapered on an otter, whereas on a beaver it can be a bit more of a round, kind of chunky tail.
So Justin, you also actually have 2 new wolves.
Yes, that's right, Lauren, that's right. We've got Pika in our Mexican wolf habitat. She's our brand new female, just introduced about a couple of weeks ago to the males, Kipper and Marco. And then we also have a new red wolf female on the other side. And so she's been introduced, it was sometime around late summer that she fully got introduced to Peanut. And so both endangered species, but having these brand new females in the mix means that we got potential for cubs, which means that these endangered species can be reproducing and just leaving this legacy to really help their species. The Mexican wolves, they're a little smaller. You'll notice they're a little lighter. They've got kind of a richer gray. They're from both the American Southwest and all the way down through Mexico. They're one of the smallest species of wolves, subspecies of wolf, versus the red wolves, a little bit bigger. Red wolves historically used to be able to be found right here in Connecticut. We don't have them anymore, but that's a species that all throughout New England red wolves used to historically range.
And the hope, of course, is that they have little babies, because your real hope is that one day you can release them.
Absolutely, yes. They've done some releases with Mexican wolves already. Same is true with the red wolves. Historically, Beardsley Zoo has an amazing legacy with the red wolves and actually being a part of that all the way back through the 80s. Some of the first wolves ever released into the wild came from our zoo. So who knows, Kawani and Peanut may be another link in that chain, you know, really helping wild red wolves.
So now, Justin, we welcome back an old friend.
Yeah, that's right. Chiang Bai has returned to the zoo. Chang's been gone for about a year, and Chang is the mom to Rika, who we've got in the back there. And Zaya, who has just recently left our zoo, she's got a potential mate that she's set up with. So we had the opportunity to bring Chiang back to the zoo.
Oh, I mean, and it really has special meaning for us because we got to have the babies sit right with us on our laps.
Amazing.
And now they're like sort of grown women.
Yeah, right? Once in a lifetime experience. It's amazing to think of how short a period of time they are just so small and helpless, and how quickly they go from being that animal to this animal here. I mean, it's 3 years later, right? Could you imagine a 3-year-old being 250 pounds, being 4 times as strong as any adult that you know? I mean, that is a big 3-year-old.
That's amazing, and they're so beautiful. And Chiang, of course, went away for a little while to Ohio. So explain that, and now she's back, which we're thrilled about.
So when Rika and Zaya, they were growing up here, we had Rika and Zaya on one side and we had Chiang on the other. And when Rika and Zaya got older, eventually they're going to need more space, as tigers do, right? So in our case, Chiang had the opportunity to go down to Columbus Zoo, and we were able to free up this other yard. In order to make everybody's life just easier and safer, having Chiang go down to Columbus Zoo was much easier for her and much easier for the girls. They got to stay and be near each other, smell each other, see each other for much longer than they would in the wild, certainly. But time came when Zaya got a match, so Zaya had to go, and that gave us the opportunity to bring Chiang back. She's 13. She's kind of on retirement now. She just gets to enjoy full benefits of healthcare, you know, meals prepared for you, just the finer things in life.
And she gets to see her daughter from afar.
Exactly. She gets to come back and spend time with her daughter. And what's better than that, you know?
That's wild.
Close the loop.
I also want to mention, Justin, before we go, the zoo has been doing, you know, people have been coming because they love it here at the Beardsley, but of course, because of COVID, you are hoping maybe you could get some help.
Yep, we do have an emergency relief fund that we've got up right now. We've been doing fairly well, but we do have a cap on the amount of visitors we can get. We were gearing up for this to be one of the biggest years for the zoo, and then our admittance really had to sort of get kind of stoppered a little bit. And so we could definitely use any of the public's help. You can check out our website, beardsleyzoo.org. You can check out our Facebook. There's lots of donation links. The Emergency Relief Fund is one of them. And certainly you can visit. Just coming to the zoo is really important. One of the most important things you can do is see an animal, get connected to them, learn about them. And that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, I just love Chiang. Look at her. She is so beautiful, and she is a wonderful ambassador for tigers everywhere. And when we come back, you are going to meet a gorgeous guy who is also a wonderful ambassador for his breed. Stay tuned. Lauren's Crazy Pet Show is coming right back.